What's up, YouTube? It's Coach Cory, and today we're going to talk about, is there cheating in Brawl Stars? And if there is cheating in Brawl Stars, what can we do as a community, and what can Supercell do to make cheating not happen, to make the game more fair play? Alright, so let's get into it. Alright guys, so having Brawl Stars be a fair play and fair game for everyone is very important to me, so I want to talk about the possibility of cheating in Brawl Stars. Right now, there seems to be three main ways that are basically considered cheating. The first one is just purposely losing games. This maybe isn't so much cheating, but probably more just a douchey and dirty thing to do, and definitely not something that should be happening, but it does happen some. The next way is win trading, purposely matching yourself with another account that you own or have access to and losing those games on that other account to give your main account trophies. Another way that's been the community probably thought was a form of cheating, but Supercell has now officially identified it as such, is organized teaming, where you try and get your friends and yourself in the same showdown match at the same time and team with them to have an unfair advantage over other players. This is different. I'll explain all of these in detail and I will go over each one. Let's start out though with purposely losing matches. And guys, let me know in the comments if you've noticed any sort of cheating going on in Brawl Stars, or what your opinion is on how we can fix any cheating going on. So this most often happens in Brawl Ball, where you can take the ball and score on your own goal. It's a probably quicker way to lose games. People might do this because they want to be dropping trophies, but you're bringing down your teammates with you, and it's just unfair to them too. You can do this in other game modes, but it's a little bit more effort. Let's be real though, if you want to drop trophies, just go in Showdown and get 10th place. It's very easy to do. So just recently, actually yesterday, Supercell made a statement on the Brawl Stars Reddit about people purposely losing games in Brawl Ball. And they said, and I quote, "We wanted to let you know that we will begin taking action against players who intentionally throw matches in Brawl Ball. We do realize that there are times when you try and make a save, but end up just over the goal line, and that's okay. A few accidental own goals won't get you in any trouble. However, we will be taking action against players that repeatedly and intentionally throw games." Now, I'm really glad they're doing this. I know the community is too as well. There's definitely been a decent amount of posts on the Brawl Stars subreddit of people purposely throwing games, and they usually get a good amount of upvotes from people complaining about this. So it's definitely good that they're taking action against this. And they said that they are doing this immediately. They also said that you don't need to report people. There really is no report button anyways. They will be watching and monitoring this themselves. My guess is they probably have some sort of stat that keeps track of how many own goals someone has. And if there's a bunch in a really small amount of games, they're probably going to be able to easily identify that person as purposely throwing games. So that's great that they're trying to stop that. And my guess is it will. My guess is if you are doing this, you will probably get banned. For how long, I don't know. Maybe it'll start out smaller, and if you keep doing it, it will increase. That's my guess for how they will handle this. Okay, so the next form of cheating I want to talk about is organized teaming, which is, as I said, it's when you and a group of friends or people you know try and get into the same match in Showdown at the same time. So that means basically you're saying, hey guys, who wants to play Showdown? All right, queue up at the same time as me, and we're going to get in the same match and be on each other's team. That is not allowed. What is allowed is if you have friends in the game, that's fine, and you just queue up whenever you want because you feel like playing Showdown, and then you see your friend in the game. You're like, okay, that's my friend. I'm not going to kill him right now. And that's okay. It has to be random. It can't be organized. That's the keyword. Supercell, in their Brawl Ball Fair Play post, which I just talked about, they made a comment on organized teaming. Someone asked, what about organized teaming in Showdown? And they said, and I quote, "We're looking into this as well. Though I'd like to distinguish between two types of teaming. If you play a match, find a random twirling Shelly and decide to play nice, that's perfectly okay. However, if players are attempting to game the matchmaking system in order to join a match with their friends or bandmates, organized teaming, that's not okay. We'll be taking steps to mitigate the latter. Now, I'm definitely really glad to hear this, as this is a really big problem on top high-level Showdown, where you end up seeing the same people very often. And all these people, a lot of these guys who play Showdown all the time, they have alliances and they have certain friendships where they're always going to be on the same team with certain people. And if you're not on their team, they're going to betray you and kill you much sooner than they'll ever do that to their teammates or their people in their alliance. And a lot of these guys, if you betray someone, they'll be in there, they might have a server in Discord of a bunch of people who are in the same alliance, and if someone betrays someone in that alliance, they're going to be posted on their Discord like, hey, this guy is betraying people, and then maybe other people start betraying them too, or they're no longer on their team. So that's definitely a big problem in top level Showdown. So I'm really glad to see they're going to be taking steps to mitigate this. Obviously, there's nothing in place quite yet, but one thing, my guess as to what their fix will be is they'll make names hidden after a certain trophy level in Showdown, say like 400 plus, 450 plus, something like that. So that way, if you see a random Shelly, or you see someone in Showdown, you don't know if it's someone in your alliance or not. So you can't purposely try and team with them. You're just playing the game normally, as it's a random person you don't know, like most everyone else is, and how Showdown should be played, in my opinion, and I think most of the community's opinion too. Now, of course, that won't exactly stop organized teaming from happening. You can still have people be in a call in Discord and have everyone try and queue up at the same time and just game the matchmaking system by having everyone in the same match. That's still possible, and you can talk to each other, figure out where each other are. It's definitely more effort, but you can still do organized teaming even with names hidden. Now, of course, I would love to do something about this. So what I did is I talked to the Nova leadership, and they went around and talked to a bunch of the other top bans to try and get everyone on the same page about organized teaming. So in Nova, we definitely do not support organized teaming, and we wanted to make sure the other bands were on the same page as us. So right now we have other bands on the same page as us against organized teaming. So far, the other family groups is Ad Esports, SOAW, and Eastlake. Right now, we're still waiting for Team Liquid to hear back from them, and OJ as well, but we're trying to get all the top bands together against organized teaming so we can make Showdown a place how it should be played, much more Hunger Games style, like the lower level and mid-level Showdown trophies. It's much more fun that way, as opposed to having predetermined teams that decide who is winning Showdown matches. I definitely think it's important that all of these organizations are on the same page against organized teaming, and it will definitely help limit it if it's public like that it's not allowed. Of course, until names are hidden though, it's going to be very hard to stop, as let's be honest, a lot of these guys already really know each other and they've already formed these teams, so it's probably still going to keep happening until names get hidden. I'm not sure if this requires a whole client update or not. My guess is it probably does, as it's definitely not something minor like just changing the stats of a brawler. So we'll see when exactly what sort of fix they do for Showdown and when it is. Alright, now the other way to cheat is win trading, which is where you have another account of a somewhat similar trophy level for brawlers, so you can get in the same match as them or against them and have that one account lose trophies and your main account gain trophies. Now, this definitely is possible to happen for sure, especially in the state of the game now where there's not as many people playing. It's easier to match lower level brawlers, and there are a couple instances of this being publicly caught. The most notable one is Yump doing this with his own account. The other people with him were P. Robert, As MK, and XO Data. I'm not entirely sure what their involvement in this was, besides the fact that they were on the same team as Yump. Yump did have against his mini account, and he replied to some of the posts on Reddit. He said it was just for laughs. He did it at 5 a.m. in the morning. He said, I already reached the top of the game. Now the game is dead, and he doesn't care anymore. I don't particularly think that's a great attitude, and really that's no good excuse. but he's still win traded, and that's definitely not allowed. So I think he understands now that he can never do this again, and I'm sure if he does, he will be even more heavily ostracized by the community. So there's a couple ways though Supercell can go about stopping this, and they already do to some degree, but because of the state of the game now, it's a little bit easier for people to win trade. So of course, a bigger player pool will make it much harder to match another account. There's just way more people who are similar trophies, and it'll be harder for you to just game the system like that. Another thing they can do is if you match a certain account, you can make it so it's harder to match that account within a certain time frame. Say it's 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever it is. Now, you may not have noticed this, but it's a little noticeable at the top of the game, but they already actually do this to some degree. And they used to do it even more before when it was a bigger player pool. If you played a team, it was hard to play them again except for after a couple games. You would notice that as at the top of the game, it's obviously much more likely to match people at your trophy level, so those people are only placed so often, but you would end up matching people who are much lower trophies, and then you would only play those high-level trophy people, the same group, only every couple games, every 3, 4, 5 games, something like that. But now with the smaller player pool, I've definitely noticed that they've reduced this to make matchmaking quicker, which I'm going to be honest, I'm okay with because we all just want to play games at the end of the day. I may feel sorry for facing the same team 5 times in an hour, and before it was maybe 2 to 3 times in an hour, but it is what it is, and until the player pool is larger, it's going to be harder to combat that. But once that player pool is larger, they can make it so you can only play the same account maybe once every 24 hours, something like that, and that would be a great way to make win trading really hard to do in Brawl Stars. So those are my opinions on cheating in Brawl Stars and how we can fix it. Guys, let me know in the comments what you think too. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you later.